Let's start with our projects and our rundown of the demo day. First up, we have Holke, who is going to be introducing Hypercerts. Joining us at 4 a.m. from New Zealand. Props to you, man. I hope this changes your allocations. Go for it.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me and us. Very excited to join here from New Zealand. The reason why I'm here is actually that we work with amazing projects like My Earth and Gainforest, and we are here to meet also with other funders and evaluators and land projects that we are serving. And so that's why we congregate here in New Zealand. Good timing as it is summer here, but it's really like for the work on the ground here to understand who we are serving. And that's also why I'm excited to join here at 4 a.m. I'm happy to present a little update of where we are at with Hypercerts. And for those who don't know me, I'm a political economist, and I'm the director of the Hypercerts Foundation. And yes, we'll now give a really quick update what we have been up to and where we are using the funds that we get through Octant for. So the basic problem that we are addressing is that our economic systems fail to recognize what we would call collective value. And this is like all this stuff from digital public goods and regenerative land projects to community organizing and science and journalism. And those things are just underfunded, and we need to find new ways, not only for open source software, not only in the digital world, but how do we actually shift our whole economy to a new paradigm where we actually realize that some things we can buy individually and some things we only can buy together. And these are the things we can only buy together. And that's why we need coordination infrastructure to coordinate what do we actually want to buy together. So that's the problem that we are tackling here. And this is obviously a little bit of a hard problem, but we are just like on it and tackling it, and have made some major updates in 2025. So, and this is basically what I'm sharing. So teasing the bigger change. What we want to do is modernizing the funding stack. So we see data silos where impact reports are posted here and posted there in silos. We see just donation receipt. We think we can really create real proofs of what has been done, what were the outcomes of that, who funded it, who can take credit for this. We want to move from centralized impact verifiers like in the carbon world to multiple evaluators who can disagree with each other, who can have different approaches, and who can then figure out, okay, if we disagree, why do we disagree? Do we disagree because we don't agree what really value is, which is totally fine sometimes, or have we measured something differently and we have to align on like what is actually the right measurement way. Then I think there's sometimes some funding mechanisms, crowdfunding, retroactive funding, milestone funding, and we don't need just one. We need to have a lot of different ones, and they need to interoperate because they all interact with the same data. So we want to have a data layer where we can build kind of our funding mechanism that works for us, for our use case, and for our project and project stage. And these will change over time, and that's why we just like need many of those. We want to move from narratives. We are just telling a story, and like I have a great story that everybody understands, to verified data and trust-based funding. So what is the data that you have, why you should get funding? That can be outcome funding, but also what is my trust graph to you? Because some things it's really difficult to measure. But then the question is, do I know somebody that trusts you, where I can say, actually, I believe that you are doing great work, even though you cannot measure it yet. But I trust you to do really well with this funding. And this also goes into the direction of how does AI change funding? Because right now, we create these narratives, and of course, we already use AIs to make it better. But in the future, it is basically just AIs that talk with each other. So you have two funding, like a funding agent who will take all your data and we'll communicate that to kind of the funding agents from the other side. So, and I have many more slides, but because I have only 1 minute left, this is what we want to do. How we do it, what Hypercerts are, is an open shared decentralized database for impact funding mechanisms, where we can identify what the good work is, evaluate it together, and then if we agree what is value, to fund it. So Hypercerts can be a variety of things. We can add more data to it. So we built this data layer together. We have different funding platforms on top of that, like MyEarth and Gainforce, that we are currently working here with. And we want to make it extremely simple. That's why we make it as simple as posting on social media, which is the reason why we use this analog of social media and collective funding and build on top of AdProto, which is in addition to our Web3 Ethereum-based tokenization aspect, we have a shared portable social graph. If somebody wants to know more about that, there's an interesting blog post where we describe our new infrastructure, how we combine these. We built hyperboards to really make it visual, and excited about all the platforms that build on top of this. Our roadmap seems to work out well right now, and we are excited to launch these platforms with it. Anybody who wants to join, please reach out, and excited for anybody who kind of also allocates to us, but also extremely excited for all the other projects in this round. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Helke.
Thank you so much. Awesome. And next we have Drew from Crypto Altruists. Hello, Drew.
Ooh. Hello, sorry, I thought I had a couple more folks in front of me. My apologies. I'm ready to go and excited to be here. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Amazing, cool.
Yes,
so what
sir.
I'm gonna do is awesome. Well, thanks so much for doing this. It's always a pleasure. Thank you, Holka. That was awesome learning about what you're building and being here at 4 a.m. in New Zealand. Appreciate that. So I just have a quick little presentation here that I'm going to share my screen. Hopefully that works okay. And share screen. Okay. Can you see my presentation? Cool. Awesome. I think I can see it. Looking good. Great. Awesome. Well, thanks so much, everyone. I appreciate you being here today. It's always so good to connect with other builders and see what everyone's working on. I'm from Crypto Altruists. My name is Drew. I'm the founder of Crypto Altruists, which is a platform really dedicated to showing the world the good of Ethereum and the many powerful impact use cases and how folks can use it to really build a better world. So what I have here is kind of a picture showing like something not so great, and on the other side showing like this perfect utopian, almost like Windows XP default background, like blue sky, green grass. And you know, that I think represents how a lot of people view Ethereum and crypto more broadly, is that, oh, it's, you know, on one hand, this kind of like, you know, terrible thing of criminals and scammers and shadowy super coders, and it's a Ponzi scheme and terrible for the environment. On the other hand, though, we got climate solutions, you know, truth and knowledge seeking, financial inclusion, decentralized science, and so much more. The reality that on the one side is that there's so much amazing opportunity here that's already happening, and some really cool experiments as well. But on the other hand, there's a lot of folks that are hesitant to engage in this space and, you know, in this technology because of the perceptions that are there, and, you know, feeling a little kind of like nervous about the stigma that exists. So we launched back in the day in 2021 with the goal of really kind of helping shift that narrative. And our mission's really evolved since then to also helping put out resources for impact builders to really kind of thrive in this ecosystem. And this also comes from my background in the nonprofit sector, where I was seeing a lot of these pain points and seeing how, you know, Web3 and Ethereum could really address these and really scale the impact sector, but was getting a lot of hesitation from my colleagues in the space at the time. So since then, we've put out lots of different podcasts, which is our bread and butter, including, you know, different series with, you know, Octant, Optimism, Glow Dollar. We have an Ethereum-for-good impact hub, tons of articles and resources. We've consulted with nonprofits to help them leverage this technology for good. So that's what we've been working on. You know, and Epoch 10 is really going to help us just grow on this work and expand. And, you know, Octant's been such an important part of our journey. We're so, you know, humbled and amazed and grateful with the support we got in in Epoch 9, and we're excited to continue that momentum and build something and continue to really build this vision. And that includes, growing the Ethereum-for-good Impact Hub, really spotlighting Ethereum-related academic content is something we want to go into as well. More community onboarding and outreach, Ethereum toolkits with courses, comprehensive case studies, lots that's kind of in the works here that's really focused on, a couple different things. And it kind of, rallies around this theory of change almost, that like if we can shift narratives and challenge misperceptions through storytelling, it means that more people will be interested in exploring Ethereum. And if we can also build the impact economy on Ethereum, it's not just about getting people excited to build. This is, hundreds of millions of livelihoods are impacted by this space and trillions of capital flow every year. So if we can get more of these builders in this space, it can not only help, build a better world, but also really help bring more of this capital into the space as well. More tools and resources to onboard builders to Ethereum means bringing diverse global talent into the ecosystem. And so that's kind of our, theory of change of what we're working on here. And, one of the ways that we're doing this is through our Ethereum Impact Hub. This video is actually a little outdated. We have some more stuff that we've had since then, but yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. Thank you so much for your time. It's of course an honor if you consider allocating to us. It will really help us grow this mission and, hopefully bring these folks into the space and really, grow the Ethereum-for-good hub into a central spot, a hub, really, a community space for folks that are interested in leveraging this tech for good. So thank you so much. Thank you to the Octant team for facilitating this and for all your support throughout the round. And thanks for folks that joined in.
Sweet. Thank you. Thank you, Drew. That was a great presentation. Wow, 5 minutes is up really fast. So yeah, we're moving quickly and we're already seeing hundreds of people joining in. So it's great to see. Bryce, are you ready? Do you have your...
Yeah, for sure. Let's do the little screen share.
Also up next, now we've got Bryce, who is from EAS, Ethereum Attestation Service.
Can you all see the screen?
Yep.
Awesome. Hey, so we'll keep this to 5 minutes, but thank you, Nico. Thank you, Michelle, for hosting this. Octant's been very supportive to all the public good builders here and even more broadly throughout the epochs. So it's really cool to see that we're already at 10. Well, let's get started. So I'm Bryce. I'm one of the founding team members of EAS. So if you're not familiar with EAS, EAS is a way to structure and sign data to make attestations. And attestations are simply just statements that people make, right? So I attest X is valid, but when you do this using cryptography, and if you can structure it, then you can actually allow other people to rely on that data. And the cool thing with EAS is you can make attestations private or public, so you can attest to things privately and then disclose them later. But what I wanted to do during this demo is just to talk about some of the use cases that people are building. We launched about 3 years ago, so it's been fun to kind of see the industry kind of mature around attestations and then show you how quick it is to make a schema and attest with it. So let's do it. It's going to be a quick speed run. The reason why we built EAS, just a quick TLDR, is we want to see more use cases built around blockchains, specifically Ethereum, by helping us decentralize more than just money and assets. And we believe one of the primitives that's been missing is a simple way for people to know that the data that they're reviewing is like secure. And when we looked around, if you want, like, let's say a government to attest to a parcel of land, you need the government to be able to be the one to say, hey, I attest that this parcel of land is legitimate. And that hasn't existed. So we realized that this primitive to allow anyone to be able to structure and say whatever they want is needed, and it has to be a public good, so it can't be captured. And so that's what we built. So definitely want to decentralize more than just money and assets, some cool use cases. Since we launched, we've had over 9.1 million attestations that have been made by nearly 500,000 unique attesters. There's been 3,000 different types of attestations, so different types of structures. And then well over 1 million recipients have received attestations. We're deployed across 15 different chains. It's natively integrated into the OP stack, so any future OP stack chain has the contracts by default. I was just digging into some of the data last night, put together this little chart, but some unique use cases that kind of pop out to me We're seeing, 1.2 million attestations have been made by the Open Labels Initiative to assign tags to contracts so we can semantically understand these contracts better. Coinbase verifications is a massive one where they attest to verified accounts. We're seeing verifications for contracts, token registry metadata, so a lot of like metadata use cases. We're seeing people attest to like product endorsements. We're even seeing unique ways to attest to like zero knowledge proof values and the verifier ID, so you can verify that the proof is valid. But use cases are pretty endless, so it's pretty cool. You can just like attest to things. So voting, authenticity, marketplaces, notaries, registries, where things originate from, provenance of things. It's pretty versatile. So let's go into a quick example. I'm gonna exit out of the screen share, go over to a different one. Here's the base contracts actually, so you can see it's natively integrated into base. So this is the attestation explorer. You can see attestations coming in. And we'll just click on one. So we can just click on verified account. So this is an example of an attestation from Coinbase attesting to this wallet address that it's a verified account as true with the verified timestamp. But let's say we want to create our own schema and we want to be able to attest to things. Well, it's super easy. You can do it in the Explorer. So just by clicking create schema. And I thought a fun one would just be, let's create a prediction. Like let's attest to a prediction. So we'll set the schema for prediction, and then we'll set the field. Maybe we want like a confidence value. So confidence, and then we'll just do it as a string, but you could set it for like a uint number, and then we will attest to it. So I'm going to go to my phone really quick to see if it triggered the transaction.
Nice.
Are we at the 5 minute?
Yeah.
We're at the 5 minute.
It's loading. It's loading, but no, it's super simple. You can just structure anything and start attesting to it. So you can make them on-chain, off-chain. It's free to use. There's no token. Go have fun. Reach out if you need help. Thank you for your support.
Love it. Thank you, Bryce. And yeah, signatures always take longer when the demo gods are not helping. But that was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Bryce.
Take care. Enjoy the demo day. Thanks, everyone.
Amazing.
And next up, we have Pooja from ECH Institute, previously Ethereum cut herders. Pooja, are you ready? Hey, there you go.
Hello. Yes, let me quickly share my screen here.
There you go. Stage is yours.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Octant. Thank you, everyone, for coming out here today. I am Pooja Ranjan from ECH Institute. In the next few minutes, I am hoping to share about ECH, what it does, why we should consider donating a portion of your reward in Octant Epoch 10 to ECH. Well, as we understand, in every community, there are people who are looking to help and support community. ECH Institute takes pride in sitting in the intersection of people, process, and protocol. We are a US-based 501c3 nonprofit organization that takes pride in supporting the Ethereum ecosystem. We are currently involved with process improvement, education, and open source contributors onboarding. With our unique positioning, we are supporting Ethereum developers community by making sure of artifacts available. We try to make the reports and meetings accessible. We help EIP community by reviewing and supporting them in documentation of these proposals, which are very, very important for Ethereum blockchain. At the same time, we are a strong advocate of inclusion and diversity, and we do have some programs that help onboard women and many other people in the ecosystem. As I mentioned, there are always a group to identify these problems. We try to clean up the system, grease it, and make sure that people are finding everything as easy to get inside the system. So we are currently producing content that kind of translates the complicated protocol into simple layman form. This is helpful for enterprise as well as people who are new to the ecosystem and they are looking room for getting into it. So it helps get these all fragmented information at one place, and then they should be able to make informed decision about where they want to head towards. Our key contribution to the ecosystem is on the process improvement side. As of now, there are over 500 plus open PRs on EIP plus ERC repo, and that's because it's been 10 years of contribution. There are so many contributors who have joined now. They are coming up with their brilliant ideas. ECH institutes work with EIP editors and try to seize the fire. We organize weekly office hour in order to provide the help that is required by the authors in order to move their proposal forward. 2025 had been a busy year for us. We celebrated Ethereum's 10th anniversary, and that was also like our 1 year completion of working as a non-profit organization. We collaborated with many event organizers and produced a lot of content that helped out onboarding. Here are some stats, but you can find the detailed report on echinstitute.org. You would be surprised to know that in just one EIP summit at Dev Connect, we produced 19 unique content, and they were all related to proposals and learning materials. So it helped us a lot to get more people involved. What we take pride as like our biggest achievement for 2025 was onboarding of an EIP editor. Early 2025, in January, we organized EIP Editor Workshop that received a lot of response, and we helped get reviewers on board. By the end of 2025, we were successfully able to move that reviewer from reviewer to an editor, so we get some more ceasefiring done with these open PRs. We intend to continue our core operations, continue building educational content around podcast and blog post. We do help with upgrades, and we hope that this will help us onboard more people in the ecosystem. But this can't go without your support. PG funding enables a lot of activities that are being done here. ECH sits in the ECH is Ethereum protocol aligned. We try to provide information free of cost, non-vendor education, and here your support can definitely help us go along.
Thank you, Pooja. Unfortunately, we are at time, and we want to keep it consistent for everybody. Please go vote for ECH. They are on our projects. And now we'll get Salah up from Blue Filter.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, Nico. Octant team, thank you for this opportunity. Can you see my screen? Just a minute. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. Go for it.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Salah Al-Sadi, Blue Filter founder and owner. I would like to introduce a new technology to purify water from pollutants. This is the latest map, which I had it from WHO. It's referred to the size of a problem globally, affects over 2 billion people worldwide, harming health, agriculture, ecosystem, indicated by red color. And this is increasing day by day. This is referred to water pollution. As a result, about the difficult pollutant in water now, nitrate and the chloride, the number of people they are affected with cancer disease, it's more than 500,000 annually in kids and children. As well, there are like damage in our like food crops or food productivity chain. The level for pollutants as a nitrate and the chloride, it's not more than 300 milligram per liter, but now, unfortunately, it's over 1,000 milligram per liter. This is why Blue Filter here. Blue Filter innovative water purification system registered as international patents removes 98% from nitrate and chloride from water. No chemicals, additives, no electricity, no pumps. It's required to purify water, delivers mineralized water for irrigation and drinking. Blue Filter works as a magnet, just attract pollutant from water without any chemical reaction. This is the whole system implemented with the farmers in the field to purify water. The first basin to collect polluted water, second basin intermediate stage, we produce feedstock and fertilizer during this stage. The third stage, pure water 100% from nitrate and chloride. We implemented this system with 25,000 farmers with a budget $500,000, and we provided them with high quality of water for irrigation. We increased the productivity of crops, and we provided training for 30,000 beneficiaries with different countries. And this is images explain what Blue Filter did and still like doing with the people in different countries. We can see the difference before and after Blue Filter implementation. We make everyone happy, smiley, because this technology still now help people to find clean water. It's easy to install, cost, and we developed portable filters for people they are living in a crisis area, and this filter now helping people to find clean water for drinking. This is the last what we developed, a big tank for Blue Filter, and this tank we use Blue Filter technology to purify water and help people to get water anywhere without any difficulty to find safe access for clean water. We have a proof of concept from local and international organization about the quality of Blue Filter before and after treatment. The measurable impacts: we provided farmers with job opportunity, we increased agriculture crops, we reduced disease, and we securing water for drinking and agriculture, as well we reduce carbon content in our air. Now we are working in Palestine, Ghana, Europe, Saudi, and United States. Our revenues from Blue Filter products and services, we used 50% from these revenues to do our humanitarian activities to help people in a crisis area. This is our partners now. They are support us and continue with us support in order to implement more filtration in different countries. We're looking to raise this amount during the next 3 years in order to develop a new filtration system, not to remove nitrate and chloride, just to remove now heavy metals and to treat saline water. This is my team. We have experience over 30 years in water, agriculture, and food security. Every dollar you will donate, you will help, you will help people, you will help our lives, you will purify water. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Salah. That was great. And next up, we have ETH Staker.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Jonathan.
How are you?
Stage is yours. How are you?
Awesome. Great. Thanks for this platform and opportunity to share what we're doing and for including us in the Epoch 10. We're really excited. There's a number of things we always have going on. So what I want to do here is overview if you're familiar with ETH Staker, like some of the things that are new. And if you're not familiar with ETH Staker, this will give you an overview of our role in the ecosystem and the kinds of things that we're doing at any given time. Let's see here. All right, so these are the core areas that we have, and it spans from education and advocacy to public good tools that we're developing and releasing out there for free, and then virtual and live events. So, most things we do are going to fit into any of these areas, and so I'll run through each, and this will be relatively quick. So, but yeah, ETH Staker is a nonprofit based in the U.S., and we are largely funded through grants like this and other nonprofit revenue streams. So for education and advocacy, the types of things that we're doing all the time, 24/7, are supporting stakers in the Ethereum ecosystem through a number of different ways, whether that be on our Discord 24/7, on Reddit, social media presence, and helping people navigate the staking ecosystem as they're troubleshooting and managing their validators. We have a focus on independent home and solo stakers, and that being a core part of the health and decentralization of the Ethereum network. That's our mission, is to support that, the health of the staking ecosystem. And so we do that through support of stakers and creating other materials and advocacy opportunities to support their quality of life and the quality of the chain. So you can see here some examples of that, like explainers and educational materials. We did the explainer on penalties and slashing back last year, and that's the one on the far left that we published out. The survey we do each year, and that's the middle graph. So you can see different analysis and things that we share about helping people understand the state of the ecosystem and like the mindset of stakers and people that are engaged with it. And then also just, a sense of our knowledge-based docs and things like that, but also advocacy I want to mention, because when it comes to things like the changing of the protocol, that's always changing. And we do support, protocol upgrades that are going in, and things like EPBS is current, Fossil's coming, and then also Lean Ethereum and ZK EVM type topics. We are on top of all of that and helping stakers understand what does that look like? How is their world changing, and how to test it and support it and help them through that. Public good tools. This is one where we are continuing to develop, but we've had for some time now support through building ETH Docker and the ETH Staker Deposit CLI. And so those help people generate keys and then manage their validators in easy ways. And they're pretty robust, and we maintain those through things like security audits and expert people maintaining those software, and also making them available for free and public, no cost to anybody. I also want to mention the Staker Console, which is something we announced last week, which is a successor to the Staking Launchpad, and it can do things that are like post-Pectra enabled, batching, consolidations. Very cool. You can see our YouTube stream for things that we did last week to share the demo on that with the person who built it. Valifard shared that with us. I'll mention also we do faucets, testnet infra, and the last thing we do that I think there's just always a lot of activity here is like virtual and live events. And we were present at DevConnect. We'll be at DevCon this year. We hosted a staking gathering event, which was an all-day event with 22 different talks and network opportunities for people in the staking ecosystem. We support protocol upgrade calls. You can see some of the POAPs that we give out for those, for people participating. We also hosted something called ETH Client Summit at DevConnect, and community calls at all the times. And we'll be at ECC, so see us there. I just want to say thank you, and this is how you can go support us. So we're excited for all the support and for partnering up with Octant on this. Thank you for inclusion.
Thank you, Jonathan, and thank you for sharing ETH Staker and all the cool work that y'all have done. Wow, we're getting through the demo day fast. We are just, I love it. I love everyone who's been joining in. We are past 580 views, so that's incredible. Next up, we have Afo from Greenpill Dev Guild. Take it away.
Hey, what's up, guys? GM. All right, let's get started. Thank you, Octant, for this opportunity. So yeah, I'm Afo, steward of the Greenpill Dev Guild. We're a community of builders supporting Greenpill chapters and region communities with regenerative tools, product feedback, tech support, and workshops focused on impact reporting, capital formation/allocation, and community coordination. And we span the globe from the Americas, Europe, Asia, and Africa, and we're a diverse group of builders from design to engineering. And for the past year, we've been building a regen stack, starting from the bottoms up with the public good staking protocol at the blockchain layer, focused on growing staking flows and knowledge for public good initiatives. Then the Allo Alliance, a community of Web3 builders and researchers addressing real-world allocation challenges. Greenpill, which is a mini app we built for Greenpill and regen reputation that we've been using within Greenpill to get access to funds and voting. And then Green Goods, which we'll be focusing on today, a streamlined and user-friendly platform for reporting environmental and community work. So all these intertwine to create a cohesive stack that helps people from the app layer then connect to capital formation at the blockchain layer. And before getting too deep into the weeds, I want to say thanks to Octant for all the support from Epoch 5 and community rounds we've been able to grow, progress Green Goods alpha development, host workshops on Web3 tooling from Karma Gap to Passport, and grow our community with monthly builder spaces and weekly calls, and lastly, support product QA and design. And starting with the public staking protocol, or dApp nodes, which provide a user-friendly staking experience. Having a dApp node itself is a hard skill, or running a node itself is a hard skill, and dApp node makes it simpler by providing a staking-first operating system. With the node, a person gains privacy, self-hosted AI, an IPFS node, and much more. And then building on top of dApp nodes are Obol. Obol DV Tech lets a squad co-run a validator across multiple machines and location. This design lowers single operator risk and keeps validators online even if one goes down. And then what really ties together the public staking protocol is Lido CSM, which provides a low way to start staking with an ETH bond, where you could basically provide up to between 1.3 to 2.4 ETH, and it extremely lowers the barrier for squads to start validating. And then what we do with that yield is funnel it to Octant vaults, which we're actively setting up to compound that staking yield and then grow with DeFi strategies, and then have it be allocated with mechanisms like conviction voting and streaming. So with the public staking protocol, we believe that we'll move away from donating and you'll just stake. So quick highlight before getting into Green Goods is the GG24 public good tooling round, which saw Gardens and the DevGuild forge closer ties with Paul, Glavin, and I operating the round. So far, we've allocated over 80,000 with retro rewards announced next week. And thanks to Octant, who supported our domain and thus our round. So stay tuned for the retro ceremony stream next week. So let's get into Green Goods. Green Goods is centered around creating hyperlocal hubs of regenerative actions. The problems that we've noticed in the space and larger this regen space at large is that capturing impact is tedious and meticulous, grassroots work isn't always valued and rewarded, and bioregions have many interests and lack coordination. So Green Goods enables a simple, minimal, and accessible app to capture local action. It's an on-chain protocol of transparent and verifiable impact integrated with reporting platforms, and it enables hyperlocal hubs of diverse actions from community gatherings to reforestation. And Green Good abstracts away impact reporting by integrating with Karma. So in essence, every garden that you create in Green Goods is a Karma project. Every assessment that helps set the baseline for the action needed is a Karma milestone. And then the actions worked on and approved are a Karma project update, which are CIDS compliant. And you capture work in 3 clear steps, like making a post on Instagram. You have the media in the form of images, audio, video coming soon, details to provide context and concrete data, and review to ensure everything looks good. And if you want to go ahead and try out Green Goods, we're actually launching it. We're proud to launch our pre-beta with the Octant community. So feel free to scan the QR code, join some of the open gardens, and start capturing impact. The more feedback we could get, the quicker we could deliver the right tools to grow regenerative action. So our next steps are to tokenize impact with Hypercerts, generate soft Hypercerts buy pressure with Octant Vault DeFi yields, creating an impact price floor, make impact reporting accessible across Telegram, WhatsApp, and SMS, giving access to billions of people, and kick off 2026 beta with Greenpill region communities. And I want to close with what is our Q1 2026 strategy. We discovered that altruism alone is unsustainable for public goods, and the ecosystem lacks mechanisms that directly link capital formation to verify local impact. So we're prioritizing standardized impact reporting and local endowment creation via Green Goods, Hypercerts, and Octant Vaults. We're testing this by running after pilots and Greenpill chapters where communities use our platform to test work on chain instead of using spreadsheets and track staking capital, not donations. If we see a high yield to impact ratio and verify sustainability for these projects by Q2 2026, we'll scale the model to more region communities. Let's fucking grow.
Awesome. Thank you, Afo. That was great. And let's fucking grow.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. Next up, we have Protocol Guild. Cheeky, take it away.
Hey, everyone. Awesome to be here. Just quick confirmation. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Perfect. All right. Well, then let's dive right in. Just got 5 minutes here. First and foremost, it's super awesome to be part of a round that's called the Best of the Best. I'm Cheeky. I'm from Protocol Guild. We're an alum of Octant Funding Round, so hopefully by now you already know about us. I have 4 tabs that I want to share with you today that tell a little bit more about Protocol Guild's story. For starters, like what are we? We are a funding institution for Ethereum's core protocol contributors. In this page here, you can see a scrolling list of handles. Each one of those represents a individual who is working on building or maintaining Ethereum's core protocol itself. These are client developers, these are researchers, these are coordination specialists, people from all over the world who are basically helping us maintain and plan the future of the Ethereum core protocol. As I mentioned before, since we have been in Octant rounds since the start, basically, since Epoch 0, I'm going to go ahead and assume that most of you already know a lot of what I can say about Protocol Guild. So I'm going to switch things up and instead answer a different question, which I know many people usually have, which is how to follow everything that's going on in Ethereum's core protocol development. And so in that, there's this amazing new website, relatively new, called Forkcast. Forkcast.org. This is a website that is maintained by the protocol support team, I think most of which are in fact already Protocol Guild members. And this site is amazing because it is a one-stop shop for everything that you need to know about Ethereum's core protocol development. So you may or may not be aware, there's a ton of calls that are happening every single week to basically plan Ethereum's core protocol upgrades. And so you can see here at the bottom, recent protocol calls. This one from last Thursday, all core developer execution layer. If you click that, you get a handy link to the YouTube stream, you get a transcript, you get the chat logs, and there's a summary experimental feature here, which if you click, it'll give you a rundown of everything that was discussed in the call. And this is amazing because, you know, these calls can get very technical. Obviously, that's they're meant to be for the most part. And so this is a very easy way for you to see what are they talking about, and then by yourself, basically double click on the things that you don't recognize, you need to learn a little bit more about. For example, they talk about some EIPs that were rejected for the next upcoming fork. EIP 7793. If you don't know about this, you can also use Forecast to learn more about it. So if we go back to the Forecast website, you can see here at the very top, we have Fusaka upgrade, Glamsterdam upgrade, and Higoda upgrade. The Fusaka upgrade is the one that already took place in December last year. The Glamsterdam one is the one that's targeted for the first half of this year. And if we click in there, you can basically get an overview of where we are in the scoping, planning, and launching process for that upgrade. You can scroll down, you can see basically how many EIPs, these are basically features, are proposed for inclusion, how many are being considered. Considered basically means it hasn't been committed to actually be proposed yet, how many are scheduled, and how many are declined, meaning not going into the fork. And you can see the timeline of basically where we're sitting in terms of getting this upgrade out the door. And then very, very handy, you can see here on the left, considered for inclusion. These are all the different upgrades that are still being discussed. And this is an amazing tool because it allows you to very quickly get a high level overview of what these upgrades actually do to Ethereum's core protocol, how it benefits users, how it benefits different stakeholders in the ecosystem, basically, and in a very non-technical way, gives you everything you need to know about that specific EIP. Another cool thing about this website, if we go back to the homepage and we go to, for example, the Higoda upgrade, you can see basically, let's see here, if I scroll down, no, I'm not finding it. Let's go back to Glamsterdam. Right, you can create your ranking of the things that you want to include in the EIP. It's probably a little bit too late to do this for Glamsterdam specifically, but this is a fun way and interactive way for you to basically, shill what you think the core protocol should have. And there's a cool feature to basically share this on your social media. So if you need to keep in touch with Ethereum's core protocol development, this is the way. Forecast.org is amazing. And it basically is an excellent representation of what all Ethereum's core protocol contributors are working towards on a daily basis. And if that sounds cool to you, well, then we have a vesting contract where you can donate. All tokens donated there get vested over 4 years. As they get vested, they pop into a splitter contract with all of Ethereum's core protocol contributors to distribute the funding directly to them. And that's it. Thank you so much again. Really appreciate everything.
Thank you, Cheeky. That was great. And best of luck to Protocol Guild and this Epoch as well. We love all the work that y'all do, and we are grateful for it. Sweet. So next up, top of the list, we got Solidity and Nicola from Solidity, who's going to be talking about what they're working on. Take it away.
Hey, guys. Just to confirm again, you can hear me, right?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Fantastic. All right. So much like Protocol Guild, we're also alumni of Octant. I think we were there in round 8. So thank you so much for having us back again. And thanks for all the support. Now, I don't want to get too much into Solidity. Again, we've been here before, and the project itself is probably, well, it's probably familiar for most of you. But yeah, in general, we are a programming language for smart contracts in the Ethereum ecosystem, and we are the primary language, for better or for worse, of the Ethereum ecosystem. I think about like 90% of all deployed contracts were written in Solidity. And just in DeFi, we underpin like $200 billion worth of assets. As of quite recently, it's been about half a year, we are no longer part of the Ethereum Foundation, who were very gracious and gave us a nice little runway. But obviously now we kind of need to look for our own funding to make sure that it succeeds in the future. And we also had our 10-year anniversary a few months ago. And believe it or not, we have evolved quite a bit since the last 5 years when Ariana Grande used the language, as you can see here in one of her videos. But yeah, I think even 5 years ago, this wouldn't have compiled. In any case, we are essentially, as I said, a 10-year-old language now, which in the Ethereum ecosystem space is a bit of a dinosaur. But precisely because of that, we've essentially decided to kind of split off almost into 2 tracks. We have classic Solidity, which is the current Solidity that you all know and love and maybe at times hate. And the reason is it's like that is precisely because there's so much hedging on Solidity doing the right thing when generating code that our kind of development is fairly slow, methodical, because if we make a mistake, that mistake could potentially lose the community and all of the projects and protocols, well, billions of dollars in, the worst case scenario. And that's certainly not something that we want to do. And precisely because we have like 10 years of legacy work behind us, some of it is not very easy to fix in kind of a feasible and timely manner. So a couple of years ago, we started cooking up almost a parallel kind of new Solidity, which first was going to be a new type system that would fix a lot of the issues that we had previously with Solidity. But only about a year ago did we start like full on work on it. And at the moment, we basically have like an almost separate team working on it full time. And this should be extremely cool and extremely interesting. And it should also allow us as Solidity compiler developers to actually use Solidity a lot more than we do on a daily basis. Of course, in the meantime, classic Solidity is not going anywhere. We're still working really hard to kind of fix all of the issues that we had with it. Stack too deep probably being one of the most famous issues that people encounter. Also modernizing the backend and kind of speeding up the new via IR pipeline. And just general performance improvements, but that's kind of the layout of what we're looking for. So thank you guys very much for supporting us, and thanks Octant for holding space. Now I see I've got about a minute left. So before I do that, I did mention that we're no longer part of the EF. We actually spun out, and we are now part of the Argo Collective. So I do have some backup slides, and we're basically a collective of like 25 engineers from the Ethereum Foundation, and 6 projects at the moment. So we've got Sourceify, Act, and HEVM, which are kind of formal verification projects. We've got ETH Debug, which is very Solidity and tooling adjacent. Phi is another language. And then obviously we've got Solidity, both classic and core, being developed. And it all kind of comes together, and it's all very much focused on kind of the further Solidity developing, formal verification, making sure that everything is nice and proper and safe for usage so that everyone can be happy and hopefully not use too much money. But yeah, again, thank you so much for hosting us, and yeah.
Thank you, Nicola. That was awesome. Really appreciate the efficiency. And next up, we have Tobias from Grow the Pie. Hello, take it away.
Hello. GM. I hope you see me, you hear me, and you see my screen.
Go for it.
Perfect.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone, and thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here, always with the Octant folks, and obviously you all allocators. First of all, thanks for all the allocations already, also in the previous epochs. And if you don't know us yet, we are essentially, we're Grow the Pie. We set out to visualize Ethereum's story through data. So we are a data platform where we try to curate everything around the Ethereum ecosystem, not just Ethereum mainnet, but also its layer 2s that are building, settling on Ethereum, and essentially also its builders developing apps for the Ethereum ecosystem as a whole. So we have metrics around 35 plus chains. We have fundamental metrics like stablecoin supply, throughput, but we have economic metrics as well, and application metrics, and some others. I'll give you a live demo. And basically, this is the platform on the growthepie.com. Usually, we used to be growthepie.xyz. We branched out a bit. And basically, this is the platform that you see is the landing page where you see the Ethereum weekly engagement that we see across the wallets, across the different chains that we cover. So as I said, we cover more than 35 chains, starting from Ethereum mainnet to Base, Polygon POS that we recently added, Celo Arbitrum one, and so on, all the names that you can basically find that also have traction and that have applications. We also have an ecosystem page where we aggregate different metrics across the ecosystem. Also, kind of you see here different events that basically is happening around Ethereum mainnet upgrades, and also the Ethereum ecosystem TPS. So live TPS that we just see in this current moment. Also the fees that you can track always as a user. That's always very interesting. And application revenue over time, stablecoin supply over time, and also the different rollups that are launching or also shutting down, and also the aggregated daily TPS on average. If we also go a level deeper, if you look at different metrics, let's say you're interested in throughput, so what's happening on the chain, what's the capacity of the chain, you can follow this here, and you can toggle on and off the chains that you're actually interested in over time. And also you can here follow, okay, what are these layer 2s actually making in terms of money, making in terms of profit. You can see that over time, the cost that they have. And if you want to follow a specific chain, then you can also go to a single chain page. Here in this case, it's OP mainnet, where you can see, okay, what's happening live in terms of the TPS, what's happening in terms of active addresses, and also what's happening in terms of applications, right? We, in the end, want to use applications on chains, so we can actually look, okay, what's happening around Velodrome on different chains. You see where the activity lies, how much fees they actually pay across different chains, and what you as a user might also want to discover, because there might be apps that you don't know yet, and you can discover this here on the page. How do we do this? We actually built the Open Labels initiative, which allows you to label smart contracts. We also do our labeling, but this data is all for free. So we're public good. All our data is available through an API for free. You can use it, but you can also contribute to it by attesting to your own contracts if you're a builder, which allows us to actually supply you with application metrics for free, so that actually users can discover your app. We also have different tiny reports that contain live data. In this case, it's around the Fusaka upgrade, but you can also find more quick bites here. We call this quick bites because it's really trendy topics that we just want to cover and inform our users on. Also, what we have, we update you daily on different things that are happening across the ecosystem on Twitter, for example, on Farcaster. And we sometimes build also some other trackers like the Octant tracker, where you can actually follow, okay, what's happening in the different epochs, who's right now on top, what's happening, who's donating to what, to how many wallets. And yeah, this is some of the stuff that we do around in the Ethereum ecosystem. I'd also encourage you to just use our search to really discover new things that you might not have known before. And really go there, go to the platform. Thanks for your support again. Really appreciate it, because we can only upgrade this platform, maintain this platform, because we get your support, Octant rounds help, Gitcoin rounds help, and obviously also other donations, because we want to keep the platform for free to everyone. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Thank you, Toby. And we are big fans of Grow the Pie, so it's great to see you all growing. Hope you all get tons of funding. Up next, we now have Pavel from the Tor project. Pavel?
That's correct.
Go for it.
Thank you so much for having me. And I'm basically here today to just give a little bit of a primer on Tor, because I know we have a lot of supporters in the Octant community, and we're very grateful. And we're also discovering that a lot of people still in practice have some questions about how Tor sometimes works, and how the design has evolved over time. And so I would like to just start with a very simple question that probably we're not asking ourselves nearly enough. And that is, do you know what happens between clicking on a link and a page loading? Like, I don't think about it nearly enough. And, I live in, like West America, in Western America on the West Coast. Like, it probably doesn't really matter. I have a pretty low risk profile, but there are parts in the world where we're experiencing extreme political unrest, a lot of internet shutdowns, increased surveillance, and that invisible journey ultimately becomes much more treacherous for a lot of the internet users. And this is why I wanted to just take a little bit of time to remind people of the existence of Tor browser and how Tor changes that journey and that relationship between clicking on a link and how the website is loaded, and why that design choice still matters. And so what we're seeing here is basically the Tor browser download page. I have opened it on the Tor browser. And if we're, so first of all, I encourage everybody who hasn't downloaded it and doesn't use Tor browser on a regular basis, download it, use it, because the more people use privacy-preserving technology like Tor browser, the more destigmatized it becomes, but also the more protection it offers to people who really need it. If you think about it, if only people who are in extreme circumstances are using Tor browser, then it is pretty easy to spot these users and potentially deduce that they're doing something that would put them, that would make them people of interest. And so if we're, and just to explain kind of like how Tor changes that relationship, I'm going to the circuit icon here at the top of the search bar, and I hope people can see it. But basically, I've just preloaded a couple of websites to explain how this works. So when we talk about the Tor connection, we always talk about 3 hops, and they're basically visualized here in this circuit display. So what we're seeing is that this browser, so my ISP can see that my internet service provider can see that I'm using Tor browser, and that connects to a random server in Sweden. So that random server in Sweden knows that some random person in the West Coast is using Tor browser, but it doesn't know anything more beyond the next step. So now it gets in the second hop to the United States. That server only knows that somebody from Sweden is doing something on the internet. That second layer basically obfuscates the activity and the location even more. And then ultimately, the third hop, which is a server in the Netherlands, that knows that somebody is accessing the Tor project website, in this case, probably to download it. But basically this design, we're always talking about the 3-hop design, that provides a great deal of location anonymization and some anti-censorship capabilities. We're always doing our best to explain these in very transparent ways. Why did I load other sites? Because the beauty about Tor browser is it prevents the correlation. So if I'm now going to a different site, let's say here to today's event website to sign up, I click on the circuit display, and we're seeing that a completely different circuit was generated. So now it routes me twice through Germany and Albania. And so basically, whoever owns the statistics for this landing page will eventually just see that somebody from Austria, in this case, was connecting. So why am I saying this? Because despite its seemingly complicated design, it is actually quite intuitive to use. I think we can all agree that this looks and feels like any other browser. And this is really a design choice that we made. So it's really all about making it easy to use for people. The other reason why I'm hammering home this design choice, I've talked a little bit about the anti-censorship capabilities. And this is something where we all collectively can help internet users in need, especially with what's going on in Iran, especially with what's going on in Uganda. Even though we're currently facing hardware shutdowns and like other internet connectivity challenges, what I will say is we at the Tor project have actually seen spikes leading up to it before and also after. So in the brief moments that the internet comes on, what every internet user can do is run a Snowflake proxy. We've seen it work in Iran. We're seeing it work in Uganda, at least in those brief moments where the internet infrastructure comes on.
Sorry, Pavel. Let's wrap it up, please.
Yeah, no, and this is just my call to action. So if people are concerned with giving back to the community, not just in monetary ways, but also in non-monetary ways, this is the easiest way that you can support internet users.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Pavel.
Also been using Tor since 2013. So love seeing that things come for full circle. All right. Up next, we have Ertu from Atlantis.
Hey, everyone. Firstly, can you hear me?
Yep, we can.
Awesome. So, hey, everyone. I'm Ritu from Atlantis. I'm one of the co-founders, and Atlantis is, in essence, is a peer-to-peer impact network. We build tools and solutions for environmental and social impact projects. The big problem that we are trying to solve is of mistrust. Impact industry is a $1 trillion industry, but I'm sure all of you have seen headlines like the ones that I'm sharing. This entire space is riddled with a lot of misallocation. Just in the last few years, billions have been misallocated. And we are using Ethereum-powered technology like on-chain provenance, decentralized reporting, impact capital formation to really tackle the corruption in this space. What we do is that we provide a free suite of apps to NGOs and communities. These are primarily 3 platforms that we have today: Impact Landscape, which is for funding, Impact Foundry, which is used for verification, and Impact Miner, which brings a lot of field data on chain. I'll just walk you quickly through all the things that we have done over the last year and so. We have thousands of users on the platform. We have issued quite a lot of impact points. All of these impact points are attached to on-chain artifacts, whether it's NFT-based certificates or on-chain transactions. The Impact Foundry product is used by more than 50 organizations around the world. This includes communities, it includes decentralized Web3 projects, and NGOs. Apart from these two, we also did something that was a little unique. We tried something called as a gamified impact funding initiative. We call it the Impact Landscape, where we attached on-chain activities to dynamic NFTs, which evolved based on your real-world activities. It was a multi-chain event. We had thousands of people participate. It was the first of its kind. We are hoping that we can continue to do this. Apart from all of these 3 products that we have also contributed to the open source tech. We have open sourced the impact certificate minter that we have, which means today any app can build on top of this mechanism and issue NFT-based impact certificates. We've issued close to 252 since launch in October last year. And in terms of what our focus is for 26, primarily, we are focusing on bringing more real-world projects on chain. And the other part is helping a lot of local communities build their own version of these products so that it is compliant in terms of regulations. Another fact is that we are 100% crowdfunded. As you can see, most of our funding has come from the wonderful community in Octant and Gitcoin. it is critical that we get some support so that we can continue to provide these free apps and open source tech that will ensure that credible projects around the world win in this market. Thank you.
Right on time, or slightly earlier, I would say. But that is awesome. Thank you, Ritu. Love seeing Atlantis and all the growth, and congrats on all of the milestones and just the great year that you all have had last year. Next up, we have Roscoe from Revoke.cash.
Hey guys.
Hello.
How are things going? Thanks for setting this all up. So I'm Roscoe, the founder of Revoke.cash, which is the main approval management application on the EVM ecosystem. So scams and hacks are still an incredibly big problem in the entire crypto ecosystem. This is a report just about wallet drainers from 2023, where I see hundreds of millions get stolen from hundreds of thousands of victims every year, just from scams. Then there's also smart contract hacks and exploits that happen very regularly and also result in generally hundreds of millions of losses every year. And regardless of whether it's from a smart contract hack or from a phishing scam, this kind of drop-off is not something you want to see when you're checking your portfolio on DBank or similar portfolio apps. And that is where Revoke comes in, essentially. So with Revoke, you can see exactly who you've given access to your money, so which smart contracts, and potentially what the risks of that are. And this helps you to make sure that you're not exposed to any ongoing risk in case smart contracts do get exploited. And also in many cases, phishing websites also try to abuse existing token approvals, or they try to request new token approvals. So also against those kinds of phishing attacks, using Revoke can help you stay safe. We also have a browser extension that gives you warnings when you might do certain dangerous actions on the blockchain, which can also help you stay safe from those kinds of phishing attacks. This year, we've started gathering some data about sort of the impact that we're making on the ecosystem. These data right here are just from smart contract hacks alone. And as we saw before, phishing websites are maybe even a larger part of where crypto losses come from. So over the past couple of years, we estimate that we've prevented at least $140 million in losses, and likely even in the multiple hundreds of millions if you do count as well those phishing websites. So that's where we come in. That's where what we do, the impact that we're making. We hope in 2026 that we'll have even more numbers from different sources, so we can even further show you guys what the impact is that we're making and why it's important that we can continue doing what we're doing. I think we have a little bit of time, so I would like to show you guys a live demo. This is our platform. Here you can see who has access to whatever you're doing. You can now, with our new batch revoke functionality, you can revoke multiple approvals in a single transaction. You can see our That's a debugging version thing. But in any case, here we see that we are setting multiple approvals to 0, which we can confirm in our MetaMask wallet. We wait for a little bit. Hopefully we make it in our 5 minutes. There we go. It's revoked. We're back here. That's it. That's my presentation.
Oh, love it. Thank you, Roscoe. Batch Revoke, super useful. Used it a bunch a few weeks ago. Thank you. Next up, we have Remix with Andrew. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? Everything good?
Perfect. Yeah.
All right.
All good.
Welcome to Remix, where you can learn, explore, and create. And the create is what we want to emphasize today, and some of the kind of examples of what we've used Octant funding for, and what we would use Octant Epoch 10 funding for. Everybody knows Remix as a no setup tool. It's available on the web and as a desktop app. We've re-released the desktop app, and that's really going to help people offline. It will help with larger projects. So we realize we can kind of go into more of a full stack pipeline, zero to dApp kind of project workflow, rather than just as a learning tool, which is what Remix has traditionally been known for. Here's some numbers. We've got about, since we spun out from the Ethereum Foundation in July, we have about 1 million contracts per month being deployed on Remix, about 500 or 400,000 monthly active users, and our average session duration online has increased to about 15 minutes. Our usage is growing across the global south. Particularly, we're really proud of this because Remix is known as the tool for the most accessibility in the world because it's a no setup tool. You can see 500% growth in Africa, largely Nigeria and Kenya, and a lot of growth across other regions of the global south. I believe India is our top user base right now. This is how we kind of work with ecosystems. Right now, you can deploy to any of these networks, probably 35 to 50 different chains. We also continue our learning program through conference talks, like Zero to dApp at DevConnect. That was really successful last fall in Buenos Aires, and we will be continuing to do online workshops in this next year. Remix is an open source public good, always has been and always will be. It was incubated by the Ethereum Foundation for the last 10 years. In 2025, mid-2025, we transitioned out of the Ethereum Foundation as one of the last spin-outs. So right now, that's why we are relying on ecosystem funding, and Octant funding has been vital for us and will continue to be vital for us to scale our platform and mission. Here's how Octant funding is helping Remix users. We're really ramping up Learn with Remix AI. We have an AI assistant that's hooked up to all the LLMs below. We also have OpenLlama from our desktop app that you can download for a private, secure LLM. This is really informing our MCP that we'll be building, that we are building right now. But we have noticed a lot of the user base going to just learning with AI on the platform itself, embedded in the tool. So that's enhancing our accessibility as well, because we're offering these LLMs on the platform. This last quarter, we did the Zero to dApp at DevConnect in Buenos Aires. This next year, we're going to be focusing on more enhanced boot camps online, basically kind of looking at vibe coding boot camp. Look for that in probably Q2 and Q3. I'll obviously be at DevCon, on the road to DevCon, working on probably some 1 to 2 week boot camps for vibe coding in Remix. We're building Remix AI MCP server. Right now we've got Open Zeppelin endpoints. The Graph AMP is a new product that will be featuring on our MCP endpoint and all of the Alchemy endpoints as well. We're adding new endpoints to the MCP all the time now, and this is now an experimental flag on Remix. But I'd encourage everyone to go to remix.ethereum.org if you want to try out our AI tools as they exist right now. The other thing we'll be doing with Octant funding in the next 2 quarters is creating logins to Remix so that you can already log in with GitHub, but these other email or Ethereum or Google logins will allow users to store info, deploy to IPFS, Swarm, and any other HTML platform or server that they can point to, and store those workspaces and webs and publish their dApps and go into production with dApps.
Nice.
That's
Thanks,
basically
Andrew.
it.
That's we're in time. Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Lefteris from Rotki.
Hey, hello everybody. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
We can.
Okay, good. So, my name is Lefteris. I'm the founder of Rotki, and thank you all for accepting Rotki in Epoch 10, and also for supporting us in multiple epochs in the past. Rotki has been built thanks to Octant, thanks to Gitcoin, thanks to the support of everybody that has been supporting us over the last 8 years even. So what is Rotki? Rotki is an open source standard for portfolio privacy. What you can do, this is like a screenshot of our dashboard. You can track, analyze, and account for your assets without selling your data, without giving your data to third parties. What problem do we solve? The problem is, why does your portfolio tracker need to know your home address and store wallet info, API keys, and other very, very, very sensitive financial data on a third-party server? It should not. It really should not. These are people that have suffered, especially, I don't know if you guys know JRAG.eth. He was unfortunately a victim of home invasion in France last December. And he was already a user of Rotki, but since then he just wants to get rid of every single hosted service because of feeling the pain of actually getting your data exposed, and you're putting your and your family's life in danger because of crypto and leaked data. So this is what we are trying to solve in a way. So our promise is that with a portfolio manager like Rotki, you are not sharing your data with the cloud, that it can be hacked, it can be abused by ads or surveillance. Everything is stored inside your local database, inside the hard drive. It's self-hosted, so no cloud dependency. It's local first. That means that the account only exists on your system, and it's encrypted. That means that all of your data is encrypted with your user password. Even if somebody tries to take your database and doesn't know your password, they cannot read what you have done. Rotki gives you a 360 degrees financial view from both DeFi, from DeFi to traditional finance. We can track for you centralized exchanges, all EVM chains and protocols, Solana and its protocols, Bitcoin, Substrate, and traditional finance. One of the really nice user testimonials that we've heard was from an anonymous user who essentially told us that thanks to Rotki, they managed to save up money and buy their first house. What Rotki does is that it basically makes sense of the chaos. The blockchain just gives you hexadecimals, right? Logs, receipts, transactions. We take that and we give you a readable breakdown of blockchain transactions, just like here. You can visualize the asset values, you can find claim airdrops, etc. So The killer app of Rotki is that it gives you an entire ledger of your history, which you can customize. You can also filter for whatever you need, and you can export the result in a spreadsheet and work with your accountant for it. So that you can do accounting or do taxes or whatever you want. There are many real-life accounting examples. We connect with banks thanks to Monerium. So here you can see Monerium transfers, so SEPA transfer essentially. With credit cards, we connect with Gnosis Pay, and we solve real problems like here for Pay.eth, who categorized all of his company's transactions thanks to Rotki in a couple of hours instead of days. Deep dive, too many things to cover. We give you event insights. We cover analytics for staking. We have a lot of graphs. With Rotki, you are no longer lost. We are your friend in the blockchain adventure. Don't trust what I say, just verify. We have been operating for 8 years. The code is public. We have over 18,000 commits, 3.6 GitHub stars, almost 500,000 downloads, 200 plus different contributors. Everybody can verify what I'm saying, and that it's not just plain marketing promises. We've been operating for 8 years, and we've been validated by many people over the ecosystem who have been using Rotki and have the best things to say for us. Please support us in Epoch 10, and what we will do with your support is that we will turn it into making this tool much faster, much better, and we need it because Rotki is an open source application that's local, and it's much harder to build a local application compared to all of our competitors that just have a hosted service somewhere. And not to mention that we have not even a fraction of the resources that they have. And we promise to keep putting you guys, the user, first. That's all, I guess. The guys appear, so I'm out of time. In this QR code, you guys can find anything that you need for all of our links. That's all. Let's give it to the Sutter guys.
Thank you, Left Terrace, and thanks for the pitch. Love this chain. Let's get Rotki funded. Amazing. So, Loring, welcome, and here you go.
So normally I would wish everyone a GM, but it is not a good morning. It is a pretty shitty morning, to be honest. I got to tell you this story. I'm just going to throw my presentation out the window and tell you what just happened to me because it is unreal. I knew that I would need some energy for this presentation, so I popped by the local coffee shop in order to give myself some Java. When I went in, they handed me, or no, I actually scanned the QR code and was using my phone to place my order. And so I ordered my usual Americano, right? And then there was this unusual question which popped up, and it said, hey, what's the maximum that you'd be willing to pay for that cup of coffee? Like, we know the price is $5, but what's the maximum you'd be willing to pay? And so I was thinking about this to myself, and I was like, well, this presentation is actually pretty important to me. So I guess I'd be willing to pay $50. And before I could tap my credit card in order to pay, unbeknownst to me, what happened was some guy started buying up all of the coffee in my town, basically increasing the price of my particular cup of coffee. And by the time my credit card hit the terminal, the price wasn't $5, the price was $50. And I got charged $5 for my cup of coffee. And as soon as I paid, that guy started selling all the coffee in town back to everyone else and basically took the profit. This guy stole $45 of my money because he was able to see my order and then manipulate the order of transactions, get his orders in before mine, giving me a worse price and stealing my money. And I can tell you something, I am never going back to that coffee shop again, right? It is just unfair to victimize people in this way. And I know everyone who's listening, you're thinking, well, Loring, that is the stupidest story. That would never happen in the real world. But actually that happens every day on Ethereum. Because if you are an unsophisticated user, maybe you're a newbie, maybe you're just forgetful, maybe you're busy, and you send an unencrypted DEX swap into Ethereum's public mempool, you're basically giving MEV bots the opportunity to look at your transaction and then bribe block builders in order to place transactions before your transaction and after your transaction, thus driving the price in the wrong direction to the end of your slippage tolerance, and then giving you a worse price and stealing your money. And so in order to fight this, because no one should stand for this, Shutter recently introduced EIP 8105, Universal Enshrined Encrypted Mempools. We are proposing it for the Hagota hard fork coming up. And so if you want to make Ethereum more fair and credibly neutral, if you want to make Ethereum a place which is amazing for DeFi, if you want to make Ethereum a place where users will come back again and again instead of getting scammed and just walking away, I encourage you, please support EIP 8105. And I encourage you, please support us in this Octant round. As you guys can probably tell, that was not actually my day. That was an illustrative story, but it does illustrate an important point, which is that we do need to make Ethereum more fair and credibly neutral by encrypting the mempool. Shutter is leading the charge, so please do support us, both with EIP 8105 and with Octant Epoch 10. Thank you so much.
Wow, Loring, I was like, wait, what happened? I was going to text you to be like, hope everything's okay. And the story kept going. And I messaged Nico. I was like, is this real? Or what is happening? And then 2 minutes in, I'm like, damn, what a storyteller. So thank you, Loring. That was a masterclass in storytelling indeed. And that was so great. Next up, we have David from Funding the Commons. David, do you have your presentation? Are you sharing your screen? All right, there we go. Oh, love the new branding and design. We can't hear you. Or maybe it's me. Nico, can you?
Nope. Can't hear you, David.
Also, can't believe we are.
Can you hear me now?
Halfway done. Yes, we can.
Yes.
Oh,
there you go.
Okay. And then it unpresented, right?
Yep.
Okay. Good.
Perfect. Go for it.
All right. So David Casey here from Funding the Commons. We are very grateful to be an Octant recipient in this round and in previous ones. It's really helped us get to where we are today. So public goods are foundational to digital ecosystems, and this has always been true for Ethereum, and Vitalik agrees with us. The challenge isn't really recognizing the importance of public goods, it's funding them in ways that are transparent, rigorous, and durable, rather than informal and purely experimental. And this is really what we focus on. So Funding the Commons is focused on accelerating innovation to fund public goods. We began inside Protocol Labs, and we convene researchers, builders, and funders to test sustainable models for financing open source work. We're now independent, protocol agnostic, and funded by a number of ecosystems. We work with builders, foundations, the public sector, institutions, NGOs, academia, and philanthropy to finance and drive adoption of sustainable funding pathways for digital public infrastructure. So This year, we are transitioning from just convening, which is what we've done in the past, and really getting more into incubation, influence, and advocacy, and building a pipeline from prototyping, piloting, connecting with policymakers, and driving adoption for blockchain-based public goods funding infrastructure in the real world. Let's see. Okay, so this is some of what we're up to in 2026. We are still running conferences, although we're transitioning more and more to builder-focused work. We gather stakeholders from public sector and the private sector and run curated dinners. And we work a lot on the media and getting the word out and translating what's going on in the Ethereum public goods space to the wider public. Let's see, something we're really excited about this year is running a residency in Kenya together with the UNDP, or United Nations Development Program, AltFin Lab, Alternative Financial Technology Lab, working with the Kenya country office to understand how blockchain and Ethereum-based public goods funding infrastructure can be deployed to solve real world problems at scale in Kenya. We have run 3 residencies in the past, most recently in Buenos Aires, before that in Chiang Mai, and before that in Berlin. And we've had a few successes, including a X Prize Rainforest winner and 2 Next Billion Fellows, Ethereum Next Billion Fellows. And one of our fellows deployed quadratic funding in the city of Split, Croatia. Something we are very excited about, as well as our next conference coming up. It will be hosted in San Francisco at the first Ethereum Permanent Community Hub, the Frontier Tower. And it will happen on, I think, the largest tech week of the year in San Francisco, or one of them, right between NVIDIA GTC and the RSA conference, which is a major cryptography conference. And let's see. Yeah, I think I'll just wrap here. So we are very focused on working with the Ethereum community to take the mechanisms that have been prototyped here, such as quadratic funding, retroactive funding, deep funding, and bring them into wider use beyond Web3, and really deploying these technologies out to the masses. And so if you care about the long-term future of public goods funding in Ethereum, this work matters. And thank you so much to the Octant community for supporting us.
Awesome. Thank you, David. Appreciate that. And next up, we have Maggie from SheFi.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, Octant. It's been an honor to be a part of your rounds and your funding before. And it's an honor to be in this round because all the projects are so incredible. And it's great to see that we're starting off the year funding some incredible initiatives. I don't have a presentation, so I'm just gonna go for it. And I know you'll keep me on time, Nico. Okay, everyone, my name is Maggie Love. I'm the founder of SheFi. And to put it simply, SheFi is crypto education for women. And, there's so many great projects in this round, and a lot of them on fixing Ethereum's infrastructure and making it usable, and, making sure Ethereum stays safe, and that we're bringing Ethereum's tooling to other organizations. And so what I really focus on is, okay, we have all this great tooling. We have infrastructure that works. We have DeFi. We have things getting cheaper. But where are the users, right? That's, I think, everyone's biggest problem and challenge right now. When I talk to different partners that SheFi works with, it's we need users, right? So I started SheFi in 2020, and that has always been the focus, bringing more users to Ethereum. And not just one-time users or users looking for some type of payout or something exciting, but long-term users, people who are not just going to do something for an airdrop, let's say, but people who have careers in the space, people who are contributing to DAOs in this space, people who are working at the projects in this round. And so I'm really passionate about not just sharing information with people, right? In crypto Twitter, there's lots of information, but information is totally different from education, right? If we want people to be a part of this ecosystem, if we want people to one day start their own projects that hopefully can get funded through Octant, they need to be educated. We need to learn how to translate Ethereum into like, why should you care? And something I'm really good at and that we've done with SheFi is making people care. There's over 20,000 women and gender expansive folks that have taken the SheFi course. Okay. We've hosted events all over the world and also have had thousands of people show up. And so, yes, we need to fund, and that's where we really need to fund all parts of what, is going to make Ethereum last forever, right? So, we're not really just like a marketing firm. We're not just top of funnel. We actually bring people down the funnel, and we really prioritize loyalty and retention. And how does that actually work? Well, people come to live cohort classes. So I'm about to teach my 16th season of classes. So since 2020, I've taught in 15 cohorts of thousands of people how to actually understand, what is proof of stake, and then how to actually stake to contribute to proof of stake. Or, what is a layer 2? How is it different? How does it communicate to Ethereum? What are some of the top projects in the space? So women are downloading wallets, bridging their tokens, swapping, they're staking, they're minting, they're getting the idea to build their own projects on different parts of Ethereum. And so that is really what I'm passionate about, is bringing people here to Ethereum for the long term. And so when you're funding SheFi, I've got 1 minute left. You're not just funding content that goes like out into Twitter and maybe the algorithm changes tomorrow and nobody sees it. People are showing up to class. Thousands of people are sitting in their seat, excited, eyes wide open, and they're actually learning about how crypto works, how blockchains work, and how they can actually become long-term contributors to the space, either through joining a company, either through bringing their capital on chain, or bringing their institution on chain as well. So what you're funding is engaged eyeballs, excited to learn, actually absorbing information, not hopefully people see it somewhere out on the internet. So that's why you should support SheFi and bring more people on chain so they can use all these wonderful projects that are also in the round with SheFi. So thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you, Octant, for having me a part of this cohort. And I hope everyone has a great start to their week.
Amazing. Thank you, Maggie, for that energetic showcase and for telling us more about SheFi and all the great impact y'all are having. Next up, we've got Hubert talking about, whoa.
Hello. Can you hear me, guys, by the way?
We can.
Okay. Nice,
go
nice.
for it. Talking about L2B.
Okay, give me a sec. Okay, so hello, everyone. First of all, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has supported L2B for over like 10 rounds, I believe. So that's actually huge. And I think that level of long-term support really means a lot to us. And I hope Octant and similar initiatives continue to exist and grow over the next years when the Ethereum ecosystem matures. But long story short, L2B is independent research team focused on L2s, bridges, ZK projects, and soon also real-world assets. So one of the biggest problems in our ecosystem is that it's becoming more and more fragmented, while at the same time increasingly complex. As a user or a builder, you're often forced to trust a very small group of highly technical experts that say you that the project they are building is actually legit and is actually doing what they claim it is doing. So that's something, for example, Vitalik recently tackled in one of his blog posts. That doesn't have to be the case anymore. We do this for you, basically. You can come to our website and easily check, compare, and understand all available solutions, whether you're a user, builder, or someone that just wants to partner with one of those projects to build your own, I don't know, neobank or prediction market or whatever, right? And we present it in a very easy to understand way with stuff like stages, risk rosette for L2s, but also for DAs like, Celestia or EigenDA or whatever, bridges that we will soon update a bit, ZK projects that are using, that are claiming that are using this magical tech called ZK, but nobody actually understands how it works, right? And like normal people, I mean, of course, and needs to actually have some way to understand what's going on. And basically understanding the high level of all of those ecosystems, right? So understanding what exactly is, ZK Sync doing, Optimism, Arbitrum, or Polygon. And the funds from this Octant round will go toward our new, more refined interop research that I just mentioned, and also for RWAs that are like this, a bit of a spoiler, but it's coming, so that you are sure that whatever you are buying on chain as a tokenized stock or whatever is actually legit, and you can be sure that it will not rug you or whatever in the future. So please consider voting for L2Bit during this epoch, and remember, our DMs, my DMs, are open 24/7. Whether you want to ask us something about anything listed on our website, or just share some feedback. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hubert. That was great. And we're now towards our final last couple of projects. Last but not the least, I would say. It's been a fun day. And it's been so great to see everyone sharing all these cool milestones. I think this demo day is just one example of the impact you can have both as a user and how to do more with your ETH by helping such incredible projects get funded. Next up, we have Diego from DAppNode, who's going to tell us more about how they are powering Web3 and all the great work that they're doing.
Hey, how are you doing? It's great to be here, and thanks for your support during these epochs. It's great to present DAppNode here. For those who don't know DAppNode basically is the easiest way to power Web3. What do we mean with this? So it's the easiest way to join Web3 as a node at your place using a plug and play solution. So with DAppNode, we provide power to the individuals to join Web3 different blockchains. We reward them because they are able to use staking and to get rewards. And also, we do it in a user-friendly way. Within DAppNode, you have two options. You can use the hardware and software combination that we offer, or you can use the open source software and use your own device to have your node at home. And the most important thing here is that we actually provide a full dashboard with an ecosystem of applications where you can find different blockchains, as you're seeing in the screen, with privacy-focused tools like Aztec blockchain, Monero, Zcash, and many others. Different blockchains like Ethereum, of course, but also Gnosis chain, and then staking tooling like Lido CSM, Rocket Pool, and other technologies like DVT technologies with Oval, SSV. So just to mention some of them, we offer this whole ecosystem to facilitate the users to enter Web3 with a variety of options and to monetize their presence in Web3. And one of the most important use cases of DAppNode, of course, is staking. So we work very, very hard to facilitate this experience. So as you know, in staking after ETH 2.0, there are execution clients, consensus clients, you have your signer, and then MEV boost. So as you see here, with 4 clicks, you're pretty much configured to start validating transactions and therefore getting rewards. And this is actually the ethos of DAppNode. First of all, being user-friendly, but also providing a self-sovereign solution, private, and increase the censorship resistance of the network. So we know, for example, in Ethereum, we have more than 1 million nodes, and this is because of these kind of solutions. We're facilitating the access to normal users to start staking to strengthen the network. At the moment, with the support of Octant, what we're doing is we're researching new ways of bringing the power to the people, and in this era of AI. So we have been developed an AI toolkit with open source solutions like NA10, Olama, Open Web UI, and many others that are coming to create a new vertical in Dapnode and open these new tools to the general public. So I hope you find this useful and that you can support us in this Octant Epoch 10. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Diego. That was great. And last but not least, we have Delphine from Blue Energy Reef Restoration.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Hi, thank you. So my name is Delphine, and the Gili Trust is my work for the last 22 years. So the Gili Trust is a small NGO in Gili Trawangan in Indonesia, a very small island. I work here as a biologist and reef restoration practitioner and diver. And today I'm showing you something simple, powerful, and helpful, how clean energy and coral reef can work together with Octant 10 and Ethereum to regenerate the ocean. So that's me. So the coral reefs are disappearing fast and we can protect them. Here we use the BioRock technology. There are many factors that are degrading coral reefs, and the BioRock technology works with electricity. So first reaction is that, ooh, electricity underwater, what is it going to do? But it's actually mimicking the coral reef generation with mineral accretion, and the steel frame that we sink underwater are never rusting, but actually growing calcium carbonate, which is same as the exoskeleton of the hard corals growing in every reef. So the corals growing on the biorocks can grow up to 8 times faster. They're more resistant to heat stress, and the bleach coral can actually recover. So this electricity doesn't shock the reef. It helps the reef to grow.
Sorry to
Sorry?
interrupt, Delphine. Are you gonna show slides or
Yeah,
only
so
speak?
I was showing them. Sorry.
Nope.
What do I'm showing? What I'm showing? Am I showing something?
You're showing a login page. Let's try
Oh,
again.
nice. That's not gonna work. Sorry. Share screen. Okay. It's
There you
okay
go.
now?
Yeah, you have 3
Sorry.
minutes left.
Ah!
No worries.
Anyway, so I was here showing you what the BioRock reef restoration looks like. So it's steel frame that we sink underwater and we put electricity in it. And that's what we've been doing for years, only using the main grid electricity. And in Indonesia is mainly oil. So for years we had the dream to make it possible with marine energy, so the sea for the sea. So we started the Blue Energy Reef in 2020, actually during COVID, getting some sponsors, and with Octant 7 we could upgrade the turbine that is already placed with the wave energy donut. So from the same company that helped us to place the turbine, the idea is to create electricity from very low and very small waves that can directly give the power to the Biorock reef and grow the reef faster and be able to expand it. The turbine is working well, but we're having big hopes with the wave energy donuts with more power delivered to the reef, so we could expand the blue energy reef even bigger and stabilize the seabed in many different places, not only, and being able to put the blue energy reef in many different locations. So that's with the Octant Epoch 10, we'll grow more reef structures and we create one of the world's most sustainable reef restoration system, and will help coral reef to be more resilient to climate change and support fish tourism and local livelihood. So it's a long-term regeneration. It's not a short-term fix. Healthy coral reefs protect coastline, feed communities, support tourism, and store biodiversity. So with when a reef dies, an entire system collapses. So now I would say that you can help us save the reef. What I usually say is the biggest threat to our ocean is thinking that someone else will save it. And with the Blue Energy Reef and Octant 10 and Ethereum support, we are saving it together, wave by wave, and marine currents by marine currents, or coral by coral. So thank you for being part of this journey, and please follow, support, and help us to grow the Blue Energy Reef. Sorry for the slide that were not
All
in
good,
place.
and thank you, Delphine, for the great presentation. Sweet. Well, now we're at it. That was it. We have had all of our projects present. I do want to give out a quick shout out to the projects who couldn't. You can of course check them out on our app. We've got Astis, we have Zach XBT, we also have Open Source Observer, who we were chatting with last week, and you probably saw us chat with Carl and with Max as well. And then did we have anyone else who was not able to join us, Nico? I think that was it, right?
No, that was it. Yeah.
Amazing.
Big shout out to them.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone who's watching and is with us, first of all, thank you for being part of our epochs, for being part of our community, and for engaging. You all make this experience so great, and all of the messages and replies and the tweets that you send. And then I would say, finally, a few pointers. We have less than 23 hours for the allocation window ending. So make sure you're doing the most with your ETH. It is a wasted opportunity if you don't allocate. Make sure you take those actions. And then the next part of it, which is we're going to have a very important announcement around what the next epoch and your user experience will look like on January 23rd and 24th. So make sure you check out our channels. Make sure you check out our socials. We've got some very exciting news for everyone who's participating. And if you haven't gotten your allocations, please do so. We have some incredible projects who keep Ethereum who make Ethereum stronger and who are doing incredible work. You got to hear from all of them today. We are going to be amplifying everyone's tweets with their slides all day today. So if you want to learn more, go reach out to them. You can ask questions. You can, of course, engage and tweet them. And you can share that you're an Octant user if you've got questions. And I'm sure most projects will be more than happy to answer and share more. Like, there's nothing more, I don't know. I think it's just really cool to see people actually interested in the work that you do. So I think it's going to be cool if you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the presentations were great. So invite all the projects to post them and share them with the community.
Absolutely.
Before we fit less than 24 hours before the epoch ends. So that's a call to everyone to go quick and make your allocations. Maybe rewatch this live stream to make a more informed decision. And happy allocating.
Happy allocating indeed. And then I think a few final call to actions. One, tell us what kind of merch you want to see from us for ETHCC and ETH Denver. Denver, we might keep it a bit low key because we're going to be in the midst of something really exciting that we're going to share more around early next week. And then for ETHCC, we're going to be doubling down on a lot of cool things and formats. So if you have ideas, send them our way. We are here to listen, and our team is cooking up some cool things. So absolutely want to do that. And then a couple of other things that are also equally important. Our Streamvote round is still live and is ongoing. So if you want to change your allocations, you can absolutely do that there. Some projects have been rolling out cool updates. We'll get to hear from them once we're done with allocation window madness. We're going to absolutely move over to Streamvote and share more about that. If you have got feedback, our team would love to hear from you. And if you have any experience or any thoughts around whether good or bad or constructive, please do share those. Those links are all on our Twitter. And then finally, allocation window. I mean, we're seeing some great numbers change already, even during this demo day. So go ahead. I hope these projects changed your perspective and you got to learn a little bit more. Big kudos and shout outs to every single builder who was sharing their story and was sharing their pitches today. Like, it is not easy. 5 minutes are intense and it's a lot of pressure. So I think it's easier to watch and engage passively than to be the one presenting. It takes a lot of work and preparation. So thank you to everyone who joined.
Yeah, thank you so much. And hope you like the news of that's coming out for you.
Yeah, and also Nico,
we're all excited.
We are. Nico, big shout out to you as well for hosting the live streams the last couple of weeks. It's been intense, I know, for you as well. But it's been really great to hear all the conversations that you hosted with everybody.
Yeah, thank you for co-hosting with me. You're a great co-host. It was super fun.
Thank you. And thank you to everyone who joined in. Again, go allocate and go check our channels in a couple days, because we are going to have some exciting news and we're going to be hosting a lot of sessions around that and just sharing more. So we'll keep wraps on that. But if you guess right, we might engage with your tweets. I don't know. We'll see. But with that, we're going to sign off. Have a happy Monday and wherever you are in the world.
Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.